Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Area Training Tonight. It is Monday, the 18th of July, and I'm hosting tonight's area training as the lovely Daniela Wells is sunning it up. I am in Cyprus. So you've got me this evening. Just wanted to say that the activity and the momentum this month is absolutely crazy. I'm loving going on Facebook at the moment and just seeing everybody busy with things. You know, the 90 days challenge is boosting everyone's activity, which is great. I'm seeing lots of Rogers, which is fantastic. So just as a team, we are doing fab, and I know that Danny's going to come back buzzing, full of energy, bouncing off all of us. So tonight we have a fantastic call tonight. We have 3 separate speakers. Our first is the lovely Carl-Anne Carpenter, or CJ. Now Carl-Anne was someone that I've sponsored, and she's a dear friend of mine and an absolute treasure to sponsor. And this is the first time that she's trained outside of her own district. So I'm really excited to see her stepping out of her comfort zone. So I will hand it over to CJ.
Thank you, Fiona. Okay, so what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to share my screen with everybody. So what I've done is I've done a presentation for mine, partly to keep me on track, and 2, because I've got some pictures I want to share with you all. So my training this evening is called the Bigger Why. Why we do this business and our own personal whys is something that's really important, and establishing it and really understanding and connecting with our whys will guide you through the toughest days when you have the businesses. Your why is what will dry up your tears if it is the right why. So it's just about, I want to share my why with you and how I found my bigger why, and kind of get you guys to maybe think about what your bigger why is. So this training is the bigger why, and why the why is bigger than me. So as Fiona said, my name's Carl-Anne Carpenter. However, people tend to call me CJ, and I joined Arbonne in April 2015. I have to hold my hands up. My name's CJ, and I was a follower, I was a non-replier, I was an excuse maker, I was a message dodger. I said no for 7 months, and I was the person that kept saying that they were going to join and didn't. So please, if you have one of those, don't give up on them. They just need a little bit of time. After a year in the business, I'm now an executive district manager with a growing team and client base, and will be in Area Quoll by the 30th of September 2017, and I'll complete by the 31st of October 2017. That will be 1 year after I've completed being a district. I didn't complete Strong Start. I didn't graduate Grow Strong, and I have only just started getting close to being a bonus in district. I've struggled with confidence. I've battled with rejection. I am very passionate about ethics, so I have sent a lot of people back. I've cried many times, and I've wanted to quit even more, but I haven't, and that's because my why is bigger than me. So my initial why I started this business, this is my son Harry, and when I started my business I only had my Harry, and I wanted to spend as much time with this dude as possible. I wanted to say yes to lunch dates, I wanted to say yes to birthday parties, I wanted to say yes to clubs and activities. I wanted to stop feeling worried if he was sick and how I was going to approach my boss if I needed time off. And I wanted to be wherever he needed me to be, whenever he needed me to be there. But most of all, I really wanted to say yes to making him a brother. So I said yes to Arbonne eventually, and I've had my second little boy now. And my why was to be in a position that meant we could afford to have 2 children and be able to provide time and love to both. My why was to clear our debt and do some bits around the house and for me to learn how to drive. The problem is these whys are me whys, and these things can happen if I just stay at district. But regardless to if I was an Arbonne consultant or not, I would still be able to love and provide for my boys. To grow, to grow and not to give up, my why needed to be bigger. So my why needed to grow for me to be able to grow. So my bigger why. I'd like to introduce you to a very dear lady to me. This lady is my stepmom, Pam. Pam is my stepmom, and she's a stepmom to my brother as well. Pam is also a mum to two beautiful girls, my sisters, Jessica, who's the eldest one, and Lily, who is slightly younger. There's 12 years age gap between me and Jessica and 18 years between me and Lily. I met Pam when I was 15 years old. She was in a relationship with my dad, and my mum left when I was 15 to go travelling, and I was re-establishing and rebuilding a connection with my dad, and she was my dad's partner, and they had Jessica, who was 3, and she welcomed me into open arms, into her already established family, with my stepbrother as well. Now, there's only 10 years between me and Pam, so I was 15 and she was 25, and suddenly she was a stepmom to 2 children, and then a mum to Lily, a mum to Jessica, who was 3. So at 25, she took a lot on. And I don't know many women at 25, certainly even myself, that would be able to have the strength to do that. But she really helped and guided me through some really tough times. And she was my rock. She really was. So Pam became my second mum and loved and provided for me for years. And she looked after me as if I was one of her own. In 2006, my little Lily, you can see her there, she arrived 4 days after my birthday. I begged Pam not to go into labour on my 18th birthday because she was going to ruin my birthday party, and I really didn't want her to do it. And little Lily arrived, and she just turned all our lives upside down. Honestly, she is just such a madam, but a madam you just can't not love. And she completed our family. She really did complete our family. And she's just amazing with her curly hair. Pam to me was everything that you don't think a stepmom's going to be. She became my mum. I bought her cards. My own mum understood my relationship with her. She was the lady who answered my 2 a.m. phone calls from uni when I didn't want to go anymore. She was the lady who helped me with my relationship issues. But most importantly, she was the concrete between all the bricks in my family. She kept us all together, and she helped me build my relationship back up with my own dad. She genuinely and truly is the most remarkable lady I'll have ever met. This is the last picture taken of Pam. In April 2013, Pam very sadly and very suddenly died in her sleep. Pam wasn't ill. It was a shock to us all. My beautiful sisters, Jessica, then 13, and Lily, now 6, had to wake up and source help in the street as they couldn't wake their mum. My brother and I lost our best friend and our stepmum, and no one could have prepared us for how this would affect our lives. So Pam had gone to school, she had picked up Lily, and she was absolutely fine. She'd put the kids to bed as normal, and she had complained that she had a toothache. Anyway, during the night, she had had an abscess on her tooth, and that abscess had burst, and she got septicemia, and her heart couldn't cope, and she died in her sleep. It was actually Lily that found her mum and had to go into the street and find someone and say that she couldn't wake her mum up anymore. And as you can imagine, this just turned our lives upside down. I was 12 weeks pregnant with my eldest son at the time, and to get that call was absolutely devastating. So for personal reasons, my sisters now live with their aunties, and I would have loved to have been in the position to look after them, but sadly I didn't meet the requirements needed. I was pregnant with Harry, and then I just had Harry, and I've only got a small house, and they wanted to try and keep the children in their schools. So when Pam died, Pam had no will, she had no savings, she had no assets. She worked part-time in Primark, and was unable to leave anything other than her fond memories and her pictures. And I witnessed what this does to a family when someone dies suddenly and there's nothing that can be left behind. And I don't want that. If I was to die suddenly, I would hate for that to happen. And not only that, but I've now got the responsibility of knowing that I can't put Jessica and Lily through that again. So my why is to give back. I want to be able to put a trust fund in place should the girls want to go to uni, travel the world, or buy a house. I want to fulfill their mum's dream of taking them to Disneyland. I want to be able to support them financially and emotionally, just as their mum did for me. At this beginning of this training, I told you all about my boys and what I wanted to do as their mum. Well, these girls, my sisters, they don't have a mum anymore. And I was able to witness the type of mum she would have been when they got older. I want to be able to give them this. I owe it to Pam for not giving up on me. So my why is bigger than an ignored message. My why is bigger than a dissolved team, bigger than a no. It's bigger than a pyramid scheme. It's bigger than broken ethics. It's bigger than cancelled parties. It's bigger than cancelled one-to-ones. It's bigger than the fear and the confidence and dyslexia. It's bigger than me. My belief and my why are as big as each other. How big is your why? Make your why bigger than you and don't give up. So that was my training. I hope that helps everybody today. And I really hope that if you're struggling in your business, or you get to a point where you're struggling in your business, find deep down why you started this, because there is a bigger reason. You just might not know it yet. And that why will pull you through everything that happens, everything that you don't plan for or you couldn't see happening. And I tell you what, my why has pulled me through a lot in the last year, and it's kept me maintaining district, and it will get me to area and beyond, and I will make sure that those kids have everything that they could possibly want, and I will give back that love that Pam gave me all those years ago. So that was my training for tonight, ladies, and I'm going to hand you back over to Fiona.
Oh, that's a mess. Colin, thank you so much for being so brave to open your heart to us like that. You've put yourself out there and been so vulnerable, and shared such a personal part of yourself with us, and it's a truly inspirational training. You know, people talk about the why all the time. You know, people talk about making your why. I know I've heard make your why big enough to make you cry. I like the way you said it, Colin. You know, your why should be able to dry your tears, and that is it. You know, the why is what keeps you going. You know, so many times you think, "Why am I doing this business?" And there is a reason. There is a reason you don't quit. There is a reason that, you know, you get all these obstacles thrown at you and you don't quit. That was truly inspirational. A massive, huge thank you for you to open up your heart like that to everybody. That was incredible. Okay. I'm going to move on now. So next we have, who is next on my list? Next we have the lovely Melanie Hallisey, and Melanie is going to share her story with us. And Melanie is in Natalie Crawford's downline. So Melanie, can you just start off by introducing yourself, who you are, and then how you started Arbonne, and then share your story with us. Let me just unmute you.
Thank you. That was amazing. You're wonderful, and I need to learn to do what you just did, but I'm still new to this, so I've got a long way to go. But fantastic. I have the greatest respect for you. I started, I think, Arbonne met Melanie Hennessy. Everyone calls me Mel or Jelly Melly or Melly Moo. I answer to anything most of the time. But it's a tough one. If I went through my life from the beginning to end, I'd be here all night. I've had a tough life, yeah. My birth mother sadly left when I was 2 or 3. Never wanted to play a part in my life, so it was quite tough. My dad remarried. I had a stepmom from the age of about 5. I'm 45 now, yeah, cracking on a bit. But my dad, yeah, remarried. So I had my stepmom for a good 20 years or more. And then my dad and her divorced, and sadly when they divorced, my stepmother decided that I was to go with him. So if you like, I lost another mother. And then my dad remarried. He's come to his 3rd wife. I'm not proud, but it's his life and I have to respect that. So he's been with his 3rd wife about 8 years. Sadly, she doesn't like me, so my dad's now disowned me. So I've kind of gone through a lot in life, but I've just always picked myself up and thought, right, keep going. You can't let these things destroy you or get you down. You've got to keep battling on. I've had a really tough time in relationships, and then luckily 16 years ago I met my now amazing husband, and we decided we wanted a family. So we went, after a couple of years, nothing was happening, went through the doctors, couldn't find anything wrong. 8 years later, 4 lots of failed IVF later, we accepted it just wasn't going to happen. We weren't going to have children. We weren't going to have a family. Let's look to the future. Somehow 6 months later, I fell pregnant naturally. And I wish I had a picture nearby. I had pictures of my daughter all over, walls downstairs. She arrived in the world 6 years ago. She's, well, nearly 7 years ago now. 6 weeks later, well, I had to have a cesarean because I had a low-lying placenta. And while I was pregnant, I wasn't feeling very well. I'd always had headaches and things, but I just wasn't feeling very well, and I was getting worse and worse. The minute I had her, the minute they took her away from me, I just felt horrendous. 6 weeks later, I was diagnosed with 2 brain tumours. So it was just like, yeah, we've gone through all this to get a baby. My beautiful Daisy Boo, that is the proper name as well. Daisy Boo was given in one hand, and then I felt like in the next hand it was like, yeah, we'll have that back now. You've got your daughter, but now we're going to make you ill. So 2 brain tumours. I was sat on my own in the hospital with my baby in my arms being told, and it was just heartbreaking, worst day of my life. I don't know how I got through that day. It was horrible. I had to get my husband straight to the hospital and tell him what was going on. I've got 2 brain tumours, and I know we just had our baby, but what do we do now? 6 months later, I had brain surgery, and I had to learn to walk again and talk again, and my husband had to wash me, dress me, feed me, as well as wash, dress and feed our 6-month-old baby. As time went on, I guess I used Daisy's buggy as my walking aid to help me build up the strength to learn to walk again. Talking was a nightmare. I love to talk. And learning to do that again was like top of my list. I need to talk. Lost the sight in my left eye. I'm blind in this eye now. Small price to pay. I guess I'm still here. And 3 months after surgery, I then went through 6 weeks of radiotherapy, and it kind of destroyed me. If I can hold my hand up and happily tell you, not happily, but happily say that, I got to a point and I was like, what, I'd rather be dead now than do any more of this, because it was hell. And I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. But I used to just look at my daughter and think, we've got you, and this is why I've got to fight really and get through this. And even the doctors were like, how you ever fell pregnant is beyond us, because your big brain tumour is in the place that controls all this, so you should never have fallen pregnant. But you did, and she's a miracle, because if you'd not had her, she's kind of saved your life, because had you not had her, by the time you found out about your brain tumours, it would have been too late. So I wouldn't be here now. So I think she's my reason, my strength every day to, I don't know, to fight and get through this. But then I was a teacher, and going back to work, it took 3 years for me to kind of recover, if you like. I'll never, I'm never well, but I do it because I have to. You have to, don't you? You can't let things beat you. And luckily, I'm strong enough to fight. And then I was struggling with my job, and I thought, this just isn't working. I'm struggling to do this. I'm not doing the job I used to do. I mean, my husband was sitting and talk about it. I was like, I'm not happy anymore. I can't do it. I had to step back from my job role, so I took a lower job role, which was not what I wanted really, and not what I'd worked hard for. But then we were saying, you know, for me to get a job and get someone to employ me, given that most of my time spent at hospital appointments or I have bad days, who's kind of going to take me on? And it was just by chance that Daisy was talking one day, and she was saying she's suddenly kind of linked everyone who dies has got cancer. Sadly, you know, that is a big part of, you know, we lose a lot of people to cancer nowadays, and it's so sad. And she just said in a conversation, I hope I never get cancer, Mummy, and I hope you don't, and I hope Daddy doesn't. How I didn't cry in front of her beyond me, but I kept smiling. I was like, Anna, I hope we don't either. And she doesn't know what I've got, and she doesn't need to know. She's a child, and she needs to be a child. And Natalie had seen a post I put on Facebook, and so she contacted me and said, you know, there's some products that you might kind of be interested in. And just kind of like that, after seeing them, I was like, you know what, I need to do this. This needs to be my job, and this needs to be my life. And I love helping people. I'd do anything for anyone if I could. I'm not even 3 months into it, and I'll hold my hands up and say I'm really kind of struggling. And you know, Natalie seen me have days where I'm like, I'm not doing it anymore because I've had so much negativity around me, and I guess negativity has played a massive part in my life. So like I've had the odd days where I'm like, oh, I can't do it, it's too hard, I'm too tired. Sometimes I need a bit of a push. Sadly, I sleep a lot because one of the side effects. I've got 3 now. I haven't got 2 anymore, I've got 3. I'm so greedy. But I'm still here. So I'm like, I like a challenge. You know what I mean? If I'm going to have a brain tumor, I won't have one. Let's have 3. Let's have a challenge. Let's be different. So if I'm going to, you know, give the doctors a job to do, I might as well give them a proper job to do. So, and it's like me with this. It's like a job, and I will make this work. And I know I'm going to have tough days. And I still get a few of them days if I can't do anything anymore. I don't want to be here. But this has kind of given me a reason for living. I feel like, you know, this job can work around my life with my husband and my beautiful daughter, and I want to be there for her and I want to be there for him. And I love all the products, and knowing that so much of what we use and what I've used is so dangerous, really. You know, it's like this happened for a reason. I feel like this happened for a reason, and I kind of have to do this because I want to help other people. And even if it's that they don't choose to use the products, just to educate that, you know what, you really need to be thinking about what you're using, because cancer's massively on the increase. So is the products you buy in the shops, and people aren't kind of connecting that. And I just want to help people. And I feel very passionate about it. And this is my reason for doing it, really. I just want to make a better life for people. And yeah, I'm never going to recover. I'm never going to. But I'm always going to use the products because I love them. And that's a bit about me. And I am a happy soul. I am 99% a happy, laughing, jolly, full of life person. And I try not to let things get me down. And yeah, you know what? 3 brain tumours, it could be worse. I could be 6 foot under. So never give up, anyone, ever, ever.
Wow. Wow, Melanie, what an inspiration. Oh my goodness. Now I know why Natalie asked you to share your story with us. That was absolutely incredible. Oh my goodness, I'm never going to moan about being poorly again. 3 brain tumours and you're just living your life, looking after your daughter, running your business. You're doing fantastic.
But you know what though, can I just say, like a lot of my friends will say, like I've had a while and I've just found out that I didn't get Mum, you're going through enough. And I said, no, that makes me mad, that, because that doesn't mean you're not allowed to be. You have bad days and we all have poorly. You have to remember that.
Yeah.
You are who you are.
Can I just say, I haven't got, I don't know how to use the keyboard on my iPad yet. So would you ask to say something? I just want to say, both of you did amazing to share your stories, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, what an emotional call.
Really, really sorry, but I have to go to another meeting at 7:45. So is this being recorded? Because I'd like to catch on everything from everyone. But I've got to go and see a lady about some products. So I've got to shoot off. But
that's absolutely fine. It is being recorded. Thank you so much. Honestly, I can't thank you enough.
You're more than welcome, and you're all so lovely. And I'm going to do everyone proud. And I'm proud. I
can't wait to watch your journey. I'm going to be watching you now. Well done, Melanie. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow, what an inspiration. 2 fantastic speakers, and we are not finished yet. And I think this is the absolute best follow-up training subject we could ever have. So now we have the fabulous Lindsay Peter. Is it Peter? Peter. Lindsay Peter, sorry. Training on not giving up. And how perfect is this topic to follow what we've just listened to? So Lindsay, could you just give us a little bit of a brief update, introduction about yourself, a little tiny bit of a background before you jump into your training, please? So Lindsay, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Wow, that was just amazing training. Incredible. So my name is Lindsay Peter, and I'm a district manager in qualification at the moment. So I work full time at the moment, so I'm just fitting this in around my current commitments. So I thought this topic was the ideal topic because, as I will explain, I've gone through quite a few hurdles, well, for me, and I just feel as though if I can help anybody who's facing anything that I've faced, then I'd love to share and hopefully help others too. So just get my notes out. So I'm just going to talk to you tonight about not giving up, as I feel throughout my 11 months it could have been the easy thing for me to do. But because I'm stubborn, quite strong-minded and hard-working, I'm here for the duration no matter what. So I wanted to share with you my challenging time so far. In case this is where some people are at, this may help you to think it's not just me and just to carry on. So I started Arbonne in August last year, introduced by my lovely sponsor Victoria McHale. And I was straight in, very excited, all about the business side of it. But I didn't have a clue about any of the products, etc. But I just knew for me this was a great opportunity, and to be able to one day work from home and be there for my children. Because at the moment I work full-time as an assistant management accountant. My children are ages 9 and 3, and I miss out on all the school events, pick-up and drop-offs, etc. And very, very recently, my daughter's had quite a few problems at school. So this has meant me having to finish work early to go into school and obviously help her. So obviously because I've left work early, for me now I'm having to work time back, so I'm out of the house for longer, and it's just not enjoyable. So for me to work Arbonne, I can work the hours that I want and be there for my family and obviously for my daughter and obviously my son when he starts it's full-time school. So the night I joined, it was just like, yeah, I'm doing this no matter what. I'm in there, and I just could not wait to get going. So the next morning, things started to sink in. And for a little bit, I was a bit overwhelmed by everything. So all the emails, the messages, and the groups I'd been added to, I didn't really know what to do first. So, but me being me, I was straight in with the figures, being an accountant and all that, asking Vic what QV meant, how many I needed, how the commission was calculated, etc., etc. So the first few hours that day, I was trying to convince myself this was going to give me a great commission check and I was doing the right thing. But at the same time, I kept asking myself the question, have I done the right thing? What am I doing? So my top tip, number 1, would be anybody new joining, stay focused on the steps you need to take initially by using the checklist that the sponsor does email you, and just keep checking it off once you have completed a task. Just take it one step at a time. So after I got over that little hurdle, I began to ask family and friends over to have a party, which I was going to host at my house. I really enjoyed doing these and started to learn a lot more about the products, and so I could share more with others. September was a really good month, and I actually made it to DMQ without even realising. But then came my next hurdle. This was my partner. So he started to Google Arbonne, reading the reviews on the internet, the whole pyramid scheme, it's a scam, and so he began to think the same. At that time, the questions he was firing at me, I had no answers for. I couldn't tell him why it wasn't a pyramid scheme or why there were people leaving bad reviews. Somehow I had trust in my upline that just kept me going. I knew Vic fairly well to think if she's on this, it must be a genuine business, and I still knew this was right for me, so I did continue. Me and Vic spoke together and she just explained everything to me brilliantly. So I asked my partner to come along to the DAs with me so he could hear from other people their successes in this business. And I must admit, going to these events have really helped. So my top tip number 2 is go along to the DAs. Take your partners too. Just get them involved. When they hear the same thing said from numerous different people, they do start to support you more because their mind has changed too. So after doing Arbonne for about 2 or 3 months, I'd asked majority of my friends and family, so I couldn't keep asking them to come to an event or to host. So I kind of come to an end of my list. I didn't have much confidence to speak outside my box of family and friends about Arbonne. So my activity dropped, my paychecks reduced considerably, and I was at a bit of a standstill. I started to read books. Many people kept saying, self-development, you must read 10 pages a day. And even though at the time I didn't quite get how a book could actually change you, I took the advice and did it anyway, because at the end of the day, I knew my confidence was holding me back. So if I couldn't change that, I may as well just finish then. But I believed in the people that was telling me to read, so this is what I did. Maybe not 10 pages a night, but I always ensured I read something. So I started to read, first of all reading the Dare to Dream, Work to Win book, and since then I've just read many more. I've never read so much in my life. I can honestly say my confidence has just grown and grown. And even still, I'm not the most confident person in the world, but I have done many things this year that I would never have done before. So for that reason, I am so grateful for the self-development aspect of this business. So my top tip number 3 is just to read. Just read every night, even if it is just a page. You know, if you're tired or it's really late, just read it. It really does help and makes a difference. I attended Leadership Academy in Manchester in January this year, and I came away all powered up. It recharges your batteries, and I was keen to get going. And then there was another leadership by my upline a month or 2 later, which I should have been attending, and this is when I had to cancel. I was absolutely gutted to be cancelling, but this was due to my partner not being happy for me being away for the day and not spending time as a family on a weekend. I was in tears, didn't understand why he didn't understand me doing Arbonne, and I know that all my time and effort put into my business now will allow me to have more time and freedom in the future. But unfortunately, my partner wasn't in the same mindset as I was and wanted me there that day. From that day, it has given me more determination to do this and more focused on my goal, and I will prove that I can do this. So my top tip number 4 is that there will be moments of setbacks, but this is when it will push you and make you stronger. From every negative situation becomes a positive one. So very recently, again, people at work where my partner works is a fireman, by the way. So all the firemen have been giving my partner a bit of stick, saying, you know, you need to watch Lindsay doing this network marketing company. What she's letting herself in for. All the products are very overpriced. It's only ever consultants wanting to order. That's why they keep going on about the business side of it. It's a pyramid scheme. So again, my partner's been coming in very recently, just really worried, saying, Lindsay, just be careful what you're doing, etc., etc. So because of me attending monthly trainings, leadership, Zoom calls, DAs, I certainly know now that a pyramid scheme is kind of the joke of Arbonne through, you know, as a consultant. We know that pyramid schemes are illegal and Arbonne does not operate like one at all. We can all be at the top of this business. We also know that for a premium brand, our prices sit very comfortably, as other many brands of this quality are a lot more expensive than ours. And we also know how network marketing works. So we can have residual income stream. Our businesses are open 24/7. People can order online at any point. So because others don't understand what we are perceived to be a scam, out for making money from other consultants, which is completely incorrect. So my top tip number 5 would be just know the compensation plan, so you can explain to others how this works, and that we aren't any of what I've mentioned. So I know obviously I'm going to come across a lot more hurdles during my journey in Arbonne. However, this is just going to make me stronger and want to do it even more, and I just hope that's helped explain to others. And if it's helped anyway, I hope it does.
Lindsay, that was brilliant. Do you know what? I've been doing this business for over 2 years now, and I still learn bits from that still. And myself and another consultant earlier on today were discussing how to advise another consultant that's going through one particular hurdle at the moment, and we were like, oh, we don't know what to say to her, and you've just given us the perfect thing to say to her, so we can go back now armed with information. So already that's already helped one consultant in particular that I know of. So many fantastic top tips in there. That was fantastic. I loved that you were so open with us about your partner. I know quite a few of consultants within Arbonne that struggle to do this because they don't have the support from their friends and family. So to hear you explain that and show the other side of that, you know, that's going to give you more strength, more determination. It's just so inspiring. It's so powerful to hear you say that. So thank you so much. Mm-hmm. All the 3 trainings this evening have been so inspirational. And I feel really empowered now. I want to run off and do some Arbonne work now. Thank you so much. I'm just going to double check the chat, see if anybody has any questions. Although I do believe that the chat is just people saying how amazing everybody's been tonight training. If you do have any questions, just unmute yourself and ask. But I'm blown away. Thank you so much, everybody, for sharing your stories and your top tips and your trainings this evening. Any questions before we head off? No, everyone's quiet. That was lovely. Lindsay, thank you so much. And Carlan and Melanie, thank you so much for your trainings. I hope you have a lovely Monday evening, everybody. And I will catch up with you next Sunday for the multi-region call. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.